Hello, my name is David Moody and I'm a digital education teacher in Phuket in Thailand. And as you can see in my classroom, I've got a strong Star Wars theme. Outside the room there's an entry board that has a lot of these kinds of posters on it. So some kind person somewhere else in the world's created Star Wars themed, but with good quotes and stuff. And I added other things. I've got the speeder with the various apps and websites that we use in the class and different things as bumper stickers, and I've just done lots of different stuff to make this more visually stimulating. That was my hope anyway. And this thing here will be a recognitions board, so the student of the month in each class will have their photo done as a Star Wars caricature up there, at least if the kids will let me. And even some kids have been inspired, like here's an artwork by one student and I'm using Microsoft Paint, and we've got another one up here. Okay, it's a daytime scene on Tatooine, but I just had to put that up there. That was just brilliant. And but my latest project over here, we've got Han Solo on the front door, looking after the gel packs because of the COVID. We've got to keep the kids' hands clean. But this is my latest project, and basically I had this old tablet of my father's that it's just too old. You can't update the operating system or anything on it, so I just set it up as a clock, just using a web browser running full screen and a clock face I designed as a web page. And I also have my Sphero R2-D2, and I've got other things on the side too, a couple of Raspberry Pis over there, but this is the main focus here, along with my beautiful Star Wars diorama that I made from those Kinder Surprise egg special run of those with Star Wars characters. Anyhow, so I got this lightsaber from Lazada, which I use basically as a decorative lamp, but I sometimes switch it to sound mode and use it as instructional purposes. Like if you're going to explain to kids what the word programming means, which is the art of writing a program, wouldn't it be more stimulating for them to see a lightsaber swinging around and the teacher saying, well, someone had to think of how to program this thing so that it recognises movement and adjusts the sound, So things like that have actually worked out really well so far. But I wanted to do something, and I was inspired by a couple of projects I saw on the internet, and one was for a Star Wars style console, and another one was for Star Wars style laptop covers and iPhone, iPad covers, that kind of thing. Well, I haven't gone full Star Wars theme, but I've done it in the spirit of things, right? Because in the end, I want the components here to be recognisable to students, or at least understandable. When they look at it, they think, what's that? I'm going to say, well, this is out of a DVD-ROM. You can see the gear mechanism for the tray to slide out, right? And then we've got the motherboard out of a laptop. This ring was actually for the swivel cover of this pad, okay? And you can see other bits and pieces. This is just like a small, adapter for your card, in a small mini computer. That's just a small USB hub, which is just providing power for things. I will tidy up those USB cords eventually. And of course, a few keys there. I'm sorry, a keyboard only has 1, 2 on it, so I have to use a Z, but I'm sure you get the idea. And I've just used other bits and pieces, like down here, we've actually got the tray, the slide-out tray from a DVD-ROM, okay? And I filled it in with a bit of plastic and put some non-slip matting over it, so R2-D2 doesn't slip and slide everywhere when he's just sitting there bleeping away, because he does tend to move, and if I sit him on this counter, he'll end up sliding across, So this will help to keep him on the spot. And of course, behind R2-D2 is the small mobile phone that I use as the controller. I mean, doesn't that look cool? All right, you've got the Star Wars themed clock in the background, and you've got the Sphero app there running away, and whether R2-D2 is on the floor or sitting in his tray, I think that whole screen just looks pretty cool, don't you? Anyway, it's not finished. Obviously, I can do more to dress it up, and obviously I don't want to overdo it because the motherboard in itself is really detailed. It's got a lot of stuff on it, and if I take the pad off, you can see, okay, this little bit of steel here, that was the holding bracket for the touchpad in the keyboard face, and and this is the cooling matrix, whatever you want to call it, for the main processor. You can see that the main unit running through here. It was laying flat, but I bent it upwards just to get it out of the way initially, but then I realised it's actually a good backdrop, a good stand, for my mobile phone. That really simplified things, so that's my project as it is now. And over here for the lightsaber, that's a 3D printed bracket, and see my 3D printer isn't printing too well, the edge is curled up a lot, but that's okay. I'm going to fill that in with oh dear, what's going wrong with my web page? Sometimes the internet fails. But I'll fill that in with filler and paint it all up eventually. And of course these are just 2 corner brackets out of a bed frame. And just glue them up, and just to make a solid stand, because actually there's a fair bit of weight in this lightsaber. You can imagine this stand could not cope with it. It was only meant for a plastic lightsaber handle, it's all 3D printed stuff, so. But that's where I'm up to with this, and that USB hub, I will tidy up the USB cables in some way, make it a feature rather than a messy appearance, and overall I'm quite happy, considering this is just something I've done 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there throughout my day in between classes, and well, R2 looks happy. Thanks for your time. If you've got any ideas for this, I sure would like to know. Oh, incidentally, I did cut the side out of the tray here to glue the back part of this pad cover in there. Okay, so that is cut out of the side, and I'm cutting out a hole here. I didn't bring my snips, so I can't cut it properly. I'll bring the snips tomorrow and cut that out so I can stick the USB cable in. But yeah, any ideas, please let me know.